Alright everyone, we have our first details for Amazon's new series that's going to be coming out, Wheel of Time. So, this is going to be a fantasy series that Amazon is going to be coming out with, based on a popular series of books written by Robert Peterson, I think, right? That's his name, right? Robert Jordan, okay. I don't know where I'm getting Robert Peterson from, but, yeah, I don't really remember too much about these books. I think I read a couple of the Wheel of Time books, but I don't remember too much about them, okay? But this is a series I'm really excited about, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this series is going to be coming out before the Amazon Lord of the Rings series. So, I'm curious to see how they handle this series. I'm curious to see how they handle this, because this could be an indicator of how they handle Lord of the Rings on Prime. Now, there's some things that I wanted to touch on here in regards to the casting and stuff that honestly makes me pretty excited. I'm not even gonna lie. So let's go ahead and get into it here. Like I said, just a disclaimer, I don't remember too much about these books, okay? Some of the things I might be saying might be inaccurate. If that's the case, feel free to call me out in the comments if it is indeed inaccurate. All right, that's totally fine. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Amazon's Wheel of Time series expands its cast with 5 new series regulars. The last we heard on Amazon's plans to adapt the Wheel of Time into a TV series, Rosamund Pike was set to lead the story as the protagonist Moraine. That was just about 2 months ago, and things have been quiet ever since. Today, however, brings about some more casting news, as the creative team has announced 5 new series regulars who have joined the production. The Wheel of Time is one of the most popular and enduring fantasy series of all time, with over 90 million books sold. Set in a sprawling epic world where magic exists and only certain women are allowed to access it, the story follows Moraine, a member of the incredibly powerful all-female organization called the Aes Sedai, as she arrives in the small town of Two Rivers. There she embarks on a dangerous, world-spanning journey with 5 young men and women, one of whom is prophesied to be the Dragon Reborn, who will either save or destroy humanity. Here's a look at the series regulars who will be joining Pike on her journey. Now, I kind of did some digging stuff, some research on these characters. Madeline Madden is going to be playing Egwene Alvere. I don't know how to say that name, but we have here some information about her and stuff, and everything that I read about her, as far as who she is and stuff, it seems like they picked a pretty accurate person to play this role, which is pretty cool. So it looks like they did a great job with that. The description matches and stuff, and it seems like that they are picking someone who is pretty accurate to how she is described in the book. And then we move to Marcus Rutherford, who is going to be playing Perrin Ibarra. And then I have here some information about him. And based on the description, it sounds like it's pretty accurate. It actually sounds like they did a pretty good job with that, from what it sounds like, just from what it sounds like as far as the description goes, like they describe here, he has wide shoulders, he has dark eyes and dark curly hair and stuff. And, it seems like that's going to be pretty matching. And then I went through these people as well, and they all seem to be fairly accurate. We have Barney Harris, who's going to be playing Matt Cathon. I'm probably completely butchering these names. Zoe Robbins is going to be playing Nineveh, maybe, is how you pronounce that. And then Josh Stradowski is going to be playing Rand al'Thor. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that a little bit because I thought that's pretty cool. It sounds like that they actually have picked some pretty legitimate people for these roles. Now, you might be wondering, why am I covering this? Well, part of the thing that I wanted to talk about is that this, like I said, is going to be kind of, in a way, a predecessor to the Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Rings on Prime. It's going to get to a point where both of these shows are going to be happening at the same time, but this one's going to be coming out a little bit before Lord of the Rings on Prime, if I'm not mistaken. Now, there's 2 different situations here, okay? One situation is where you have Robert Jordan's books, which are, all things considered, more diverse as far as their characters than, like, Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, and stuff. So with that being said, Amazon doesn't quite have to worry about that as much as far as being accurately representing the story of the Wheel of Time. Lord of the Rings is a completely different situation, okay? Lord of the Rings Middle-earth is set in a northern European type of setting and stuff, and most of the characters that are in Lord of the Rings are white, unless they come from Harad or from Rune. So because of that, I could definitely see Amazon going, oh, there's too many white characters here. Well, we better diversify this. Okay, let's throw in some black elves. Okay, cool, yeah. I could totally see them doing something like that. Like I said, you know, it's two pretty different situations. You know, this one is a lot easier to get away with diversity than Lord of the Rings is. And in both situations, I would rather have them be accurate to the characters and the descriptions of the characters and the people and the setting and all that type of stuff than I would pushing any sort of diversity. You know, let's say that, you know, one of these characters who are obviously described as being a darker type of person, if they had some blonde, blue-eyed type of person playing this character, I'd be like, that's kind of weird. That's not how that character was described or written. So I would be having just as much of a problem if it was the other way around as well. And that would be raising red flags. Okay, they aren't really being respectful to the source material here. But, you know, there can't be a double standard here, you know. It has to be both ways, you know. They have to be accurate with Lord of the Rings, Middle-earth, Tolkien's works, as much as they seem to be being accurate with Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time and the setting and the characters in his books as well. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. Everything so far, it seems like Wheel of Time might actually be an interesting series to check out. Amazon did a fantastic job with The Boys, which was a series that came out recently. That's a superhero type of series. I highly recommend checking it out. I gave it a recommendation and stuff. And you know, Amazon, if they keep doing what they're doing, they have a bright future ahead of them. If they continue to not meddle with identity politics, if they continue to just try to tell good stories with great characters, they will have a bright future ahead of them, and I will continue to support them as long as they do that. But I am still waiting on the casting announcement for Lord of the Rings. That will be the defining moment for the Lord of the Rings series. So keep an eye out on that on this channel here. Make sure you subscribe so you can get information about that whenever it drops, because as soon as that drops, I will be covering it here on the channel. So hope you guys enjoy this video. With that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like this new setup that I have where, you know, the camera's straight in front of me and I'm looking right into the camera and all of that type of stuff? Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.
With my heart's desire.